Good morning, Taffeta. Good morning. Hi there. My name is Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. We're back today making flat-topped cupcakes. At least we hope, okay? So Taffeta, our champion of the day, she's already in the chat. I look forward to catching up with you in the mornings because I know you're in the US, but if you're just joining us on replay, it's 1:30 UK time. I know my American audience, it's some of you, it's morning out there. So thank you for joining me today. What are we doing? We are hoping to make some flat-topped cupcakes. Why is flat-topped cupcakes important today? Because we're going to be decorating them with floral details made from the Russian piping tips. That is going to altogether be packaged in a present form awaiting Valentine. Now, why is that even important, especially today? Well, we started a series. On Tuesday, we made buttercream that is appropriate for using with French tips. Oh, who is talking French tips? Confused.com. Hello, right? So we have these French, Russian piping tips. They are floral piping tips who have the shape of the flowers etched into the various tips, and you pipe them. The problem with the piping is that you have to have the right consistency of your buttercream to get that sorted. So in order that this tutorial is very valuable to you, I started from the ground up. So we made the buttercream, and yesterday was amazing. We did some practice work because if you see yesterday's live, you will see me literally trying Russian piping tips for the very first time. I have never used them. I don't like piping, even though I've been a baker decorator for 10 years and counted. So I wanted to bring you a very raw, relatable experience of when you purchase something for starters and you're a beginner who just wants to try your hands at it. Because much of the feedback I receive all the time on these videos and on the channel is that the raw and relatable tutorials does inspire each and everyone to undertake their own journey, which is amazing. So yesterday we got really raw and we got really back to basics. Trying to pipe with the tips was very tricky, but we went from making mistakes all the way to actually achieving some results. And it is from that result that we're going to be transferring the skills onto our cupcakes for a nice decorative bouquet. Now, where is the bouquet? I don't have it to hand because over here we do everything from the ground up. I didn't want to have to practice it to come and tell you about it because that gives me what? An unfair advantage on top of the already advantage I have that I've been a baker for 10 years and counting. So wherever possible, I try to showcase the flaws I have even in my own experience for you. So this is the first time we're going to be making the bouquet, and whatever that bouquet looks like, I will post a photo in a stock photo on the community post so you can see it, but we don't have it to hand. So whether we're even going to make the cupcake bouquet of our dreams or it's going to fall all the way flat, we will find out. So join us. That said, we are on to episode 3 of our cupcake bouquet journey, and we are making the cupcakes. This was voted by Tarpeta, and yesterday the Lord even came down with us. Where are you, Lord? I did a miracle. I need £1 million in my account. No, I am joking. I definitely don't need £1 million, but right now I could do with, let's say, how much do I need, dear God? If I could get £5,000, that would be amazing, okay? And that's not because I'm money hungry. I just want to buy some equipment, okay? I want to buy some equipment to make this thing a show, okay? So, dear God, if you're listening, just make it happen. That said, Caroline, welcome to the chat. Thapita, you're here. Delaney, where have you been, my darling? You know what, Delaney? I have been thinking about you, but I'm in my head a lot. You know what? Let me just not go off on a tangent. Nobody asked for that. Can you see? It's getting messy in here. Can you see? Okay, right. Let's clear this up and go and bake. That's all. Delaney, I'll leave you alone, okay? Look. the whole thing, the buttermilk has spilled. Okay, who is he? Okay, I mean, that's I have nothing to say. Okay, I just want to clean this mess and be done. Where are we? Okay, right, I'm gonna try and be classy as possible. Okay, this is how I'm cleaning my buttermilk. The buttermilk literally tipped over. For those of you in the chat, there's 11 of you I can see, including myself in the chat. It will be lovely if you like the video, even though you don't know what you are going to see. I promise you it's going to be fun, even if you're not a baker. Where is Erica? Erica, my darling, where are you? And where is Lollipop? Somebody, can someone check on Lollipop for me, please? Oh, and whilst we're talking about checking on somebody, I will tell you something really hearty and nice that happened to me yesterday. Something really hearty, I will tell you. Okay, that's our buttermilk, all sorted. You know, wipe my worktop. Now, the cupcakes we are going to be baking is cupcakes I have made before over here with the same recipe. So I'm just going to talk you through what I'm doing quickly. But before we do anything, I am going to preheat my oven. This should be at about 140 degrees C. That is how we are. What's cooking? Thank you. When will we change? Let me call you change. I can't keep repeating when will we change. We will never change. Hi, lovely. We are making some cupcakes, okay? And yeah, we have margarine and caster sugar here. The caster sugar will help yield you a more fine and delicate crumb. If you don't have caster sugar, you can use granulated sugar. What's the difference between the caster and granulated sugar? Preferred for baking is caster sugar, depending on what you're baking. For a cake, yeah, you want to get a nicely soft, light textured crumb. Caster sugar should do that. You can use granulated sugar, especially in a situation where you are going to add liquid to the batter, because the liquid does tend to help dissolve the sugar a little bit, and it will make no difference whether you're using caster sugar or granulated sugar. The main difference is the appearance of the granules. Granulated sugar is your regular everyday sugar that you use for your cups of tea, and that is white sugar that you use in your kitchen all the time. Caster sugar labeled as super fine or finely milled type of sugar. I know they are branded differently in different places, but they are more like a finer granule to the crystals compared to granulated sugar. There are different types of sugar, but we're going to stick with the two just for clarity here. So over here I'm using granulated caster sugar. In the past I have replaced it with granulated sugar, and it has made absolutely no difference at all. So Paul, hello there, thank you for being here. And well, all of you in there chatting amongst each other, let's just get to work talking through the ingredients. Caster sugar, margarine. I like to use margarine, and if you're curious about the brand, this is no different from Stork and Flora. I have tried all of them. If I'm recommending you something, trust me, I have tried it against the best known, quality guaranteed, and I'm telling you, makes absolutely no difference. In the past, I actually undertook a research where Stork changed their formulation a little bit. It was getting really oily on the bottom of the cake, and I had so many complaints in caking groups. I thought I'll try it. Much of it has something to do with the quantity of fat you have in your recipe, as in the fat ratio does matter. Because if you're using, say, the pound method where the ingredients measure all the same across board, and yet when you bake it doesn't hold properly, it's like you have excess oil that ends up seeping to the bottom of the cake just because the oil has to find somewhere to go. That's one reason, but it's not the product itself, if you like. But I tried them, comparing them for flavor, outcomes, crumb integrity, and all of that, and trust me, they still came out solid. So at 1 pound 5 pence per 500 grams against, I think, £1.45 per 500 grams for Flora and the competitive brands. You go to your local ILD to pick that up. But it's neither here nor there. Just recommending something based on experience and use. That's it. So that's the margarine here. If you wanted, you could swap the margarine for complete butter for better flavor. Tighter crumb tastes better, but in terms of texture and crumb integrity makes absolutely no difference. That said, I have vanilla. You will need 2 tablespoonfuls here. I do not measure the vanilla. I pour it until the Lord literally has to reprimand my soul to say hello. Okay, vanilla is to cake just as what sweet chili sauce is to your crispy fried chicken. So you go use 2 tablespoonfuls, but if you're getting a bit cheeky and naughty like I do sometimes in my kitchen, just pour it with a lot of love. That said, I'm out here talking and I don't even have the eggs available, but we'll get to that in a minute. Well, that was 110 mils of buttermilk. Buttermilk adds a little bit of tang to the cupcake. It's not very noticeable. I only raise it because buttermilk is cultured, so it does have a tangy sort of tartness to it. But for the quantity that is used here, it is generally to enhance moisture, and it reacts with the acids here to also slow down the formation of gluten, ensuring that you have a little more tender crumb, which makes a huge difference here. That said, we then have flour here. This is a mixture. For this recipe, the same recipe without any adaptation makes exactly a cake that you don't have to adapt the recipe for anything. But for cupcakes, if I was using this for a layered cake, this quantity, that will be 445 grams of self-raising flour. However, for cupcakes dough, it is only 140 grams of self-raising flour. I don't know what that is, because self-raising flour does come with the quantity or a quantity of self-raising agents added to it. You don't need to add soda or baking powder to it. However, if I've used the same quantity for cupcakes, just by the self-raising flour exclusively, the cupcakes tend to overrise. I don't know if it has something to do with containment in the tins. I really don't know, but I think I have suspicions about what it is. So I end up splitting the amount of self-raising flour to balance the rice out with plain flour. So over here we have 445 grams of flour altogether. 140 grams of that is self-raising and the rest is plain flour. Still no added rising agent like your baking, so none of that here. We only have a pinch of salt for taste. That said, Paul is full already. Okay, Paul. Yeah. Oh, letting it. Yep, Miss Bell over there. Let's go get the eggs. And yeah, our oven is preheating at 140 degrees C right now. Get the equivalent in Fahrenheit. Just so you know, this is a convection fan oven, which has a fan operating at the top. If you have a conventional oven, the 140, adjust it to 155 or 160 degree C. Let me go get you the eggs and then we can jump straight into baking. Actually, no, let me not do that. Let me just start and then we'll get the eggs when we are creaming. Now, for convenience, I am employing the use of this bad guy here. I am employing the use of this lovely friend of mine here. This friend of mine does the job better. It's my Kenwood K mix, guaranteed for best results and always needing that all the time. But for the quantity and what we are doing here, you can employ a hand mixer, one of which I have over here, right? You just have to make a few adjustments for the time and the process, but you can use a hand mixer. The reason why I get particular about time and process here is because those factors do affect your outcomes. Because over here, we are not just making a regular cupcake. It is important that we get the cupcake top flat. The simple reason we need it is that we need a flat top cupcake to be able to get the decorative elements of the flower sitting nicely on top. Of course, if it does dome, we can cut it out. But the dome does add extra work to having to cut it out, especially if you don't feel confident. So the idea is to just get the job done right to start with. So that's the intention here. So sometimes when you see a recipe, the details do matter. But generally, the details are generalized, like cream it for this, for say 4 minutes. And you're like, okay, what are the influencing factors to that 4 minutes? Okay, so every information I'm giving you is important because it does eventually affect the outcome. So say if I was creaming the butter and sugar in this mixer, which has a heavy motor and works like a horse, I'll cream this at 3.5 or 4, which is actually medium high on this mixer, but that is still whipping a lot of air within a short time for me. So how much am I going to do that for? Maybe 3 to 4 minutes, we are done. But if you did a hand mixer, you can't be able to control the movement of the head, the sort of thing that the creaming head, you can't. Hand mixers are a little bit different in that way, if you like. So I say that to say some small changes to your process or equipment that eventually affect your outcome, and that is really important to bear in mind. If you're asking me questions in the chat, I will answer you in a moment. I just want to get to this and then I'll talk to you. Okay, so into the mixing bowl goes in the sugar and margarine. Yeah, Tapeta, you are definitely right. It can be annoying. Yeah, my African self doesn't like to follow instructions with cooking, and that includes baking. How I am a precision baker is something that boggles my mind sometimes, because I almost have to wrestle with the African demon all the time, sitting on my head telling me, just mix and match and just get on with it. You'll be fine. No, not for baking. So yeah, some vanilla in here. And then I'm going to set this to cream. And the creaming is done at, it's starting slow, and we're going for 3.5. Remember, yeah, we've got this at 3.5. The time is 1:47. So I'm doing this for 3 minutes, no more. In the past, I've aimed for 3-4 minutes, but I am just going for 3 minutes, no more. So it's 1:47. Let me dash and pick up the eggs, and then I'll come and talk to you in the chat. Right, in the chat, I know yeah, Takata is starting her morning with coffee and cake, right? And French. Yes, Takata, you were asking, I've just seen in the chat, you're asking about whether French tips is a thing. Yeah, there are French tips. They are the ones that have, like, I will show you what a French tip looks like. But yes, there is a... Tapita went talking to mom. Good morning. Delaney, love you. I'm sure you're gone, but see you later. Caroline, good morning. And yeah, change. We're making cupcakes to Tapita for me. Powdered sugar for baking. I will be very wary about that. Erica, welcome back. Good morning. How are you from Kansas? And Belle, you're with me. Paul, is it Latany? lately, I will tell you all about this mixer in a moment. Yeah, bear with me. And Jackie, good morning. Jackie, good morning, darling. Okay, right. So this is exactly 3 minutes. And guess what? I've been out here just talking to you and forgetting that I need the eggs. And by the way, okay, lately, oh, thank you. You know what? I was kind of having doubts in my head because I hate to get names wrong. But hey, Jackie. Right. Jackie, I want to do a sing-song and a dance. No, not today. How are you? Great to see you back. And I hope you are keeping well, my lovely. Right? So we've creamed that for 3 minutes. And as you can see, if I was making a cake out of if I was making a layer cake, I would cream this for up to 6 minutes. The reason being, even if I overcream this, I can bring it back by adding egg yolks to bring it back. And because it will spread in a wider layered baking pan, it doesn't sort of overspill. Whereas if I try the same technique with a cupcake, it will just end up, the softer the batter gets, to guarantee a lightly textured crumb, it will rise and sort of fall out of my pan. That's how you end up having the dips in cupcakes. So timing is really, really, really important here. Okay, so lately, when we get there, those of you who have specific questions about cakes, cupcakes, and techniques and stuff, let's just get the cupcakes here. It takes 20 minutes to bake. So in that 20 minutes bake time, I can answer all your questions. Lately, you were asking me about tell you about this mixer. I will. This is a brand new one, but I had an exactly the same one in red for I think 3-4 years, and it just broke recently, right? But I've created a comprehensive tutorial about that subject. I'll come to it in a minute. Let's just get to this. I said, can someone try and check on Lollipop for me, my darling? Lollipop Land. She wasn't here yesterday, which was very it was very apparent because she's very active in the group, and she's not here today. So I don't know how we can check on her, but just saying, I'm sending my thoughts to her right now. 1 second whilst we're at it. I'm still here. Because I didn't sort out my eggs. A good tip, if your eggs are at room temperature, one thing you can do is put them in a bowl, fill it with warm water before you crack. Okay, there you go. I'm going to fill them with warm water. And by the way, we don't do perfection here. Can you see my scale? I have a few scales here, but I love this one for its convenience and ease, but yet it's broken. So I almost have to fiddle with it to get the measurements right, okay? That said, for the eggs we are going to be using, can you see me? Can you see me? Right. That said, the eggs we are going to be using, the way we use it is important here. I'm going to separate the whites from the yolks because I'm going to cream the yolks in first. But it's the same quantity of eggs. We have about 275. And actually, a large egg weighs anything between 59 and 63 grams. Why do I know that? Why? Who needs to know that? Right. So I'm just separating the whites from the yolks to start with. the yolks measure about 20 grams, 19 to 20 grams each, depending on how you separate them. So I have 3, which will give me about 60 grams, right? So I think the 3 should do, because there's really no rhyme or reason to this part, except for the fact that I just need yolks to first bind the batter here for me. So that's, let's see how much we have there. We need 275 in total, right? So that's yeah, that's 62 grams over here. And then we have 107 grams of egg whites. So into the egg whites, I'm gonna add a whole egg. That's 165, and another whole egg. So that is 220 plus, that is 282. I can't risk it. The risk-taking self of mine wants to actually, because sometimes when you have your recipe go over by 10 grams of an ingredient, it's really not that serious. You could do without it, but I just don't want to risk it with here because I'm trying to teach you something here. So essentially, look at it this way. We have 5 eggs in total, 5. So if we say the eggs should weigh about 63 grams each, the 5 eggs should give us what, a little over, is it 300 grams? But with the way I have separated them, we've ended up with 2 whole eggs, 3 egg yolks, and 3 egg whites, if that makes sense. So 5 eggs in total. Just use 5 eggs in total, that measures 275, and separate 3 eggs first and then mix the rest. I hope that is kind of clear. So with that, the egg yolk is going to go in here. Should have done this already, but I got myself all like confused and not. Right, so we're going to go back, and now the egg yolks are going to go in there. You want to be careful at this point, because what you don't want to do, because we are aiming for flat topped cupcakes, we don't want to overbeat our batter or overmix it. Jackie, I am hardly very precise. Lately, yeah. It's great to have you all back in the chat, you know, very early this Thursday morning. It's Valentine tomorrow. What are we doing? Are we converging here to have fun? Right. That said, right, so I am now mixing my eggs, 2 eggs with 3 egg whites. And then slowly we are going to add this in here, slowly. Tap it up. Tap it up. The kid has no school tomorrow. Well, better thank God you're not doing the school run, is it? Or you're not like some of us. I am going to be attending, I think, parents' evening, and then tomorrow they finish school, and then they're off for a week. So I think they are off all week. Oh, curling up on the couch with some coffee, a Bible, and some cake. I can't be mad about that life, Jack. I cannot be mad about that life at all, okay? How do you like your coffee? So we can get someone to order you some lovely coffee. There you go. Now, if you wonder why I added the egg yolks first, egg yolks do have a binding ingredient. I'm oversimplifying it, but for the science of baking, it's essentially trying to change the forms of the ingredients that will naturally not mix together, just so that they can form a homogeneous mix, i.e. the batter. Eggs has the binding ingredient. I like to think of it as the peacemaker, called lecithin. Lecithin is an emulsifier. An emulsifier, in simplistic terms, is the peacemaker that binds and keep everybody together, so that people don't just go left, right, and then lead to a break in the batter. So a very oversimplified explanation to why I am employing this technique here is that I need my batter homogeneous. I don't want the batter to split or break. When it splits or break, it doesn't destroy the batter. You can bring it back up with adding your flour, but I just like to go a step further to sort of try and keep control of the batter mixing process. So by adding the eggs first, you are sort of activating the emulsifying ingredient to kind of cream the batter. You get a creamier looking batter base before adding the rest of the eggs, which will then enhance the holding properties with the flour altogether. That's just trying to explain what I'm doing right here. Ooh, okay. Right. That said, I know I have missed out on quite much of the chat this week, okay? Jack, all week, right? We've been here trying to do this thing. And even last week, we were making some flowers and stuff like that. And I was like, oh God, I missed the chat. So tomorrow, God willing, we're going to be back, but we're not baking. Did I say that? Okay. Right. We'll be talking about this right here. And then we're going to be back. And then we're going to chit chat and have fun because it's Valentine's Day. Okay. So you get to roll up on your couch, have your coffee, blonde. I want it gray. Okay, let's go on. I'm getting overly excited over here, right? Okay, now it's time to add my flour, right? This is the part where everybody has to be careful. I'm just adding the flour a little bit at a time. There's a pinch of salt in there. And there you go. And the buttermilk goes in. Jackie, have you seen our people lately? They are in Canada. I won't be mad if you haven't seen them, okay? And have you been keeping up? Your president didn't help stuff, did he? Did he? Trump had a lot to say, okay? He said, she's terrible. That's not very Christian-like, is it? Okay, and just like that, that's our batter done. Oh, you know what, Jack? If you've been off the tube, that's fine. You are saving your peace because there's a lot of chaos in our world lately, isn't it? If it's not chaos, it's just negativity. So you know what? Let's say, what does the Bible say? Think about what is good, what is earnest. That quotation, right? So if it's not feeding any sort of positive vibes for you, probably stay away. I am just a little guilty. That's all. But it's great to have you back, and it's great to know you are keeping well, my lovely. Now the butter is done, so I am just getting the excess here, and then we will homogeneously mix this together. Let's get this off. Okay. Something just went goodbye and left the chat. Right, there you have it. So that's our batter all done. I'm just hand mixing that. I know when I make batter, I know how the cake is going to feel by just the look of the batter that I derive. This recipe is quite adaptable. You can make a few changes to it and still you can have great results, you know. So there you have it. I have a tray of 24. Some days I get a little close to 24. Some days it's anything between 24 and 26 cupcakes. So let's get a scoop. My favorite scoop, where are you? You know you're crazy when you're talking to yourself in the kitchen to your utensils, but hey, that's one more mad person on the street. Okay, now if you wonder what I'm doing here, I'm just pouring some hot water into a bowl and I'm dipping my scoop in it. Why is this necessary? I do that just so that I can warm the metal part of the scoop. The reason being, the butter has fat and all that stuff in it. If I dip a cold scoop into it, every time I scoop the butter ends up more on the scoop than it is in the cupcake case. So by warming this up, I am easily going to release the butter. If not its entirety, at least I don't have much excess than I don't need on the scoop. So it goes in, you shake it off, and there you go. One scoop in, and that's it. And with what I was saying, can you see it comes out cleaner, right? So that's another tip there for you. And just so that I can have things a lot even, I am just scooping this same quantity if I can get it. And because I am aiming for a flat top, I am not overfilling this at all. In fact, if it falls short of the edge of the cupcake case, it's fine. I'm not going to be pedantic about that, because I just need it to come just right onto the top with not much overflow on top of it, and that's what I would like to see. Right, so if the chat is still happening, bear with me, because once I'm done with the cupcake batter, I have a bit of time and we can talk through whatever questions you are asking me in the chat. So I'll get to you in a moment, right? I have also heard people say to prevent oily cupcake bottoms, you want to use rice or something like that. Truth is, this batter yields a very clean and solid cupcake. You don't need the risk of oil, or the risk of it running oily on the bottom is really not a concern to me. So we don't need the use of rice over here. So that's a dozen done here. So if you're just joining the chat and you're a beginner and you really want to learn to make this cupcake bouquet that we are aiming to achieve, you have all the resources now, which is, now we have the buttercream already done. We have the cupcake recipe now that is going to bake the cupcakes for us. We have the Russian tips, and I updated the details in the video from yesterday, and I have linked the exact product for from my Amazon shop. They are not even how do I say, they are not affiliate. My Amazon affiliate is kind of a little bit sometimes tricky to kind of link up. So I literally just posted the direct link to the seller on the description box. So if you're new and you want to get the products I am using, you can click on those links. It's not an affiliate link, so I'm not selling you anything at all. I'm just making a recommendation for stuff that might be useful to you, especially as far as this is concerned. So we've got the cupcakes all sorted, but I'm gonna stamp that over. I mean, if I was filling this over, 24 would have been okay, but I think this would make extra 2 cupcakes. So the quantity here is anything between 24 and 26 cupcakes should be a fair thing here. And just to take it another extra, I mean, I am just trying to flatten the part where there is a little bit of a lump from the butter. Actually, you know what? I am going to add a bit more here, but I'm not using the scoop. There you go. Right. Just a little bit, just to top it up. There you go. So our 24 cupcakes are done now. We don't need 24 to make the cupcake bouquet. I just made extra because I have family over the weekend, and this will go to good use because there are going to be a lot of kids running around here on Saturday. I'm going to fill one last tip to guarantee the flat tops. Temperature control and the baking in the oven is important. So I'm going to put some water at the base of the oven. There's already a tray sitting in there. I've said this time and again, if you've been on this channel, this is like beating a dead horse already, sounding so repetitive, but I'm also assuming that there are new people who have just chanced into the chat. So I'm going to put some water in the oven, and that's because the water steams up and sort of cools the oven, guaranteeing a more even bake, and also tends to help a delicate tender bake as well. So yeah, that's the water tray. Okay. And yeah, I have an oven temperature thermometer in there, and it's indicating 140 degrees C, and it's 12 minutes past. So we're baking this for 24 minutes at 140 degrees C whilst the steamer is sort of cooling things down in the oven a little bit. So for 24 minutes we have 36. So at 2:36 we will check on our cupcakes in there. But at 20 minutes mark, it's probably safe to have a look and see, and we'll come back to that. So let me just clear our work surface and I'll answer some questions in the chat for you. What am I looking for? I am looking for a kitchen. What is my... Yeah, there you go. This is what I am looking for. There you go. Well, if you missed me just doing my thing over here with the butter, I'm back. So what have I missed? Right. Let me just go back in the chat, see. You know what, Tabitha? Are you inviting me to make myself a cup of tea? I don't have milk. My milk is run out. The boys drank all the milk. Okay? I tried to make myself some tea before starting the live, and so I haven't drunk tea. So if you see me feeling a little bit funny, it's because I don't have tea. I don't have tea. I don't have milk. Okay? Sadly, you can't send me milk over the internet. Yep, that's real life. Yeah, the boys, God, I can start a whole conversation about those boys. I have had some days I want to bin the big guy, because the little guy, I mean, he's little, he's only so little, I can't do anything about him. Okay, he gets away by just being the kids. Can we have a conversation? The mothers in the chat, How many times have you opened your fridge and you want to slam that thing shut and go, oh, okay. Now that's me exercising my untoward aggression at you people. Yeah. Oh, okay. Mamas, all of you come and sit at the table. Let's have a whole conversation. I think somebody lied to us, because half of the time I feel like I am fighting with myself. Honestly, I like order. I like organizing. I like precision. I like consistency. I'm the sort of why are we even talking about this? Okay, right. I am the sort of person, right, who, when I open the fridge and there's a little touch of milk, two things will happen. Either I have to think, oh, the little guy will need it in the morning, so I have to go without, just so that I can be guaranteed that he will have milk. Or as soon as I pour the milk, I'm out going to buy a new thing. But what are these ones like? There is someone who literally drinks the milk and leaves the little bit that cannot even make a cup of tea, and leave it sitting in the fridge. And I'm like, at least throw the damn thing away. Why am I shouting? You know what? Thank you for saying Jack. Jackie. You know what? Those boys, well, the big guy, he unsettles my spirit, darling. I'll tell you a funny thing about myself and my core group of friends. We were having a laugh because about something, and then in context, we're talking about when relationships end and you have to start new relationships. And I was telling one of my friends, I'm like, no, not me. I will be single a lifetime. And they were like, why? I'm like, I cannot imagine having a fight with another person over a tub of yogurt. Like, somebody ate my yogurt in the fridge. I cannot handle that. Like, if I leave my yogurt until I've left an instruction to say, you can have it, we are not sharing. Look at me having a fight. A brawl will be happening broad daylight over here. And it's like, why? Because he drank the milk. I am so happy. I am so happy. I feel seen. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Now, Caroline is saying, in England, is it tea made with milk from common? Are you? No. I have converted from that evaporated milk kind of tea. That evaporated milk kind of tea brings me nostalgia and trauma all in the same time, okay? Because, no. But you know what? When occasionally I have gone back to the evaporated milk kind of tea, I kind of feel like, oh, this touches my heart. Then I'm like, no, I want English tea. Tea with fresh milk, okay? Not even the long life milk. So Caroline, this is for you. So Tabitha is saying, I've decided that me and my hubby split that. I'm done. Yeah. You know what? May the Lord sustain that relationship for you, Tabitha, so you never have to be single. Okay? That's my prayer for you. That said, Jackie. Ladies, you have brought some honesty to the chat today. Let's get talking about cakes. A lady, let me just go back to her name in a minute. Is it, what's our friend's name? Our new friend who joined the chat today. Latany. Is it latiny or latine? It sounds like latine or latine. You were asking about the mixer. The mixer I have is the Kenwood K mix. It's a mixer I have literally spoken about for a long time. I bought my first Kenwood K mix somewhere around 2020, if I remember correctly, and for 4 years it was including the Kenwood Chef XL here. Both were the workhorses. This Chef XL I bought sometime in 2019, I believe, is it? Yeah, sometime in 2019, April, May 2019. So this Chef XL has been going since, we're in 2025. So it's been going nearly 6 years now, okay? And it's like, on average, my mixers get a lot of use more than your average home mixer, because obviously I'm a baker, and yeah, you're looking at an average of 4 to 5 days a week. It is literally on, right? So the K mix and the XL complementing each other were the workhorses over here. But for 4 years later, the K mix I had broke. That was the original K mix I picked up. I created a comprehensive tutorial about it, detailing my use. It is so comprehensive, in fact, most people who have landed, it's actually one of my highest watch videos on the channel, the Kenwood K mix. And yeah, when it broke, I thought the use and for its price and the use experience was so amazing for me. I literally, once it broke, thankfully I had it insured with a company, AO.com. So they had an insurance policy that covered it for when it broke. And after 4 years, once it broke, they literally took it for repairs twice, and it came back same persistent problem. So they decided to pay out. The payout is just the same, just a little less than the value of the mixer at the time of purchase. So when they refunded me, I just decided to invest in the same mixer. And that's it. So if you followed, I think on TikTok, when the new one came, I don't know what happened, but when they delivered it, next day I went to use it and the mixer head wasn't functioning properly. So I returned it, and then they replaced the same mix. No, I returned it, they refunded, and then I bought a new one. So it's a long-winded way of saying I love a K-Mix. I have stuck with a K-Mix time and again when I've even had issues in the purchasing process. So that's a little bit about the Kenwood K-Mix here. Is Jackie asking about the tea and the milk, the evaporated milk? I'm sure you will find evaporated milk. It's not condensed milk. It's the milk. It's the milk that is used for dulce de leche, the sort of milk that you use for dulce de. So I'm sure if you're asking after the milk, or am I missing something in the chat? Yes, it's okay. So are we talking about the evaporated milk from the Commonwealth countries? Caroline, where are you joining us from? Just a little bit curious, that's all. Right, let's go back to the chat and see what I am missing over here. But our cupcakes are still in the oven and they're baking. Oh, I didn't tell you, the idea is to get the cupcakes baked, to make sure we get some great result, leave them to cool, and then come back and decorate. So today we are possibly going to get 2 videos instead of 1, because I'm just waiting for the cupcakes to finish, but I won't be able to use the cupcakes once they are even warm. But the idea is to derive the results so we can see what we did, leave them to cool, go take a short break, come back and start decorating the cupcakes. I hope that sort of makes sense. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, Jackie and thingy, you're talking about the mixers. You know what, Kenwood is it's a worldwide brand, but I think it's, for some reason, can you get a Kenwood in the US? Because the equivalent KitchenAid apparently just works as good. They're just the same thing with just different brand names. So if you can't get a Kenwood, I'll still encourage you to pick the equivalent KitchenAid. Hopefully that will do you some good. Oh, okay. So Tabitha and Jackie are talking about a Kenwood mixer. So oh, okay. Caroline is joining us from the Caribbean. Okay. Which Caribbean island? Jamaica or any of the other ones I don't know about? Oh, 579. So almost $580. Is it in dollars, right? That is expensive. Because just to give you Jackie and Tabitha, if we're talking about the mixer, just to give you some sort of idea, I picked the one I'm using here for $1.99 on a special sale. So if you're converting the $580 to dollars, that is still twice as much the price. So you're better off picking the equivalent KitchenAid, which is like home base for you. Oh, okay, Caroline, right. Thank you for sharing that. $580 in pounds. Let's see how much. 580. We're talking about the price of a Kenwood mixer, the K mix in US dollars, and at the moment it's 580. You know what? I could do that, but now I'm thinking shipping might just probably take all the money, won't it? Let's see, 580 $580 in pounds. Yeah, in pounds sterling it's about 460. So that is twice the price. Jackie, don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Because I bought this for $1.99. In fact, when I bought it 4 years ago, it was $1.99, and apparently they told me it was on the Black Friday sale. And I was like, I thought I got myself a deal. And 4 years later, it was still $1.99. So it just seems like that is the standard price of the mixer. So to get it for 460, no. Why? No. Anyway, maybe what you have to do is get on your prayer altar and tell the Lord to grow the channel so that when we get successful and we go on a live tour, I'll have a mixer in the back of the van and you can pick it up. Okay? There is nothing the Lord won't do. No. You can get, on a serious note, you can get the equivalent KitchenAid and it will just work as much. And you know what? Let's see how long our it was 12 past when we put our cakes in. So we have 27. So it's been in for 15 minutes. So we are still like waiting for our cupcakes to be done. Look at me trying to check on my cupcakes in the oven like we have more than a few minutes because I think we are baking these for, is it 24 minutes? Is it? So let's give it a few, it's 28 now and we had them in at 12 minutes past. So it's been in for 16 minutes. So we have another 6 minutes to go and then we'll see what our cupcakes are. If they come out domed, you know, some days there are some things you can control the results of and then there are some things you can't. Yes, you know what? If you bake them at 160, you can bake them for full on 20 minutes. So at the 20-minute mark, you can check. Because oven temperatures and timing is not very static. You can make adjustments wherever possible. So where I have gotten it at exactly 140 without preheating the oven too hot, I've had to go the full 24 minutes. But where the oven temperature is already set nicely before the cupcakes go in, it is somewhere around the 20-22 mark. So the time guidance here is at 140, at any time between 20 to 24 minutes. If you go all the way up to baking it at 160 degrees C, it should be anything between 18 and 22 minutes. Okay, so that's fine. So we still have a few minutes to go. We have 3 minutes for the 20-minute mark, and then that I can check. That I can open the oven, and then we can check what it looks like. And if our cupcakes you know what? It is fun being here, but it is more important having some prayer time. Honestly, you know what? In full disclosure, I have been a little wobbly, like literally making dedicated time for prayer. But I think on Monday I had a great time, and on Tuesday for my birthday I had a great session with my sister, and it was really nice. So Jackie, don't feel bad for leaving us to go pray, because prayers does do a lot of good things in our lives. Okay, and have you seen the email? I did drop you an email, so yeah, when you go, have a look at that, and I'm sure I'll catch you. So don't worry, if you have to go pray, you go do that. We have 2 minutes before our cupcakes are done. Tapita, I'm just going back into the chat and seeing if there is something I have missed. Except I think not Erica and Lollipop not being here today kind of is messed with my head a little bit. It has been fun though, having all of you guys and talking about the boys drinking the milk. Thanks, Jack. Thank you. That was on Tuesday. We had such a great time. Oh, and whilst we're at it, last thing before you go, yeah, I made this flour cake. We made it last week. It was so beginner friendly, and yeah, the cake has been sitting out, and I guess the cake is giving away now. We need to cut it. So tomorrow, God willing, if we come back, my hope is that oh, Erica is still here. Oh, okay, Erica. Yeah, lovely to I knew I saw her, but I haven't heard much of her. But she works from home, so it might just be the reason why she's a little bit quiet today. Yeah, this is the cake we made. We have all the details up over there for you to see. And yes, tomorrow, God willing, I'm hoping to come back, and then we can cut into this cake and see what it looks like now on the inside, and how much servings we can get out of it. It might be a good time to chit chat tomorrow. So yeah, it will be lovely to be back. Yeah, we made it to the 32 mark, so let's go and have a look. Oh my god. Okay, could you tell what is exciting me? All right, I'll tell you what is exciting me. I'll tell you. I will never get over when we get perfect results. Look. Yes, even if I say so myself, they look perfect. Can you see? They are not, I mean, they've domed a little bit, which is fine. But look at these cupcakes. Would you want to eat those? I would. I would. I would. Before we do anything, let's check the middle. Let's check the middle. Let's check the middle. Okay. Yeah, crumb is tight. I am not mad. The steam is in my face. Right. Okay. Yep. Perfect. This part is the part of the tray that was facing into the fan directly. So it caused that. But yeah. So essentially, the cupcakes I was looking for are something like this. But you know what? We only need 6 for the bouquet. So I'm not even mad. But yes, everything you saw me do has helped us yield this result. Wow. Right. We want to get these quickly out of the tray so that they don't still keep cooking. Yeah, we are getting them out, because if you leave your cupcakes in the cupcake tray, the trays are still warm. So look at that. Look at the bottoms too. They are so nice. Oh, these are good. So you see, the recipe is a good one. It yields great cupcakes. Here we are. Now, do we need all of these? We don't. Will these go to good use? Of course it will. Okay, there we have it. There you go. So I'm gonna add this here, that's there, that there, that there. Yep, and there we are. I am very excited. I never get over when we employ tips here and the tips ultimately yield the results we were aiming for. So there we have it. Perfect cupcakes. Now, will it be a cupcake tutorial if we don't check the crumb? Look at that crumb. Okay, look. Look at how light and lovely. I have nothing to tell you people. All I have is the little tips I have here to share with you, and to try those tips, yield the results, empower you, inform you, and move on. That's all. So if you really think you've got value from this video, do like the video, join the community here, go make them. I mean you have Tabitha to thank here. You know why? Because Tabitha and her cohorts literally voted for me to try this. I've tried this time and again on the channel. Despite my excitement, I am always excited to try these. But Tabitha and her cohorts were excitedly jumping for joy yesterday in the chat for me to come and make the cupcakes. Whilst we're making the cupcakes, there we are. My goal is to leave this to set completely. Apparently, one way you can be guaranteed of the dome is turn them upside down, just so that they can sort of flatten whilst they are like that. I don't know if that will necessarily work. I'll just leave a couple turned upside down, but these are not going to exactly interfere with the results of what we need. What I didn't want is them overspilling. That I didn't want. But what we have here is still good. So, yep. I take it Jackie has gone off to pray. Let's wheel her on that. And, yep. For the rest of us over here, I've just eaten a cupcake for my yeah, apparently if you turn them over, they flatten a little bit. I don't know if it makes a difference, but there you have it. I only needed 6 of those for the cupcake bouquet, so a bit of cupcake. This is when I would have made myself a cup of tea. But I've already told you, I don't have milk, people. I don't. And I don't have anyone running an errand for me. I have to do all of that by myself, my lovelies. So, people, those are perfectly domed cupcakes. Perfectly topped cupcakes that we are going to be decorating. This mess won't clear themselves. So, you know what? It's been lovely hanging out for now. I'll be right back probably in the half-an-hour mark. I know some of you stop by because it's convenient for your time. If you can come back in half an hour, it's almost like 2:39 here, almost 20 to 3. Let's aim to get back at 3:15. So let's say 3:15. What's the time at wherever you are? Nano Buswa, darling. I see you. Look at you trying to find me. I'm missing. Lovely to have you back. How are you? And thanks for the lovely message. Ha! Life gets in the way, and then that boy uses my phone like he pays my bill. Okay? That said, good to have you guys, and let's come back. Let's come back in. Okay, 7:15. Okay, yep. Tapeta, 7:15. You won't be ready for work already, would you? So, yeah, 3:15, we'll be back decorating these cupcakes. Let me just get this sorted quickly and then leave this to chill, because if they don't chill on time, we're not going to be able to do this anything. So let me get out now, and I'll catch you on the other side rather shortly at 3:15, which will work out what, 3:15 UK time. So let's say give or take half an hour to 45 minutes mark. I'll see you guys soon. And extra time for milk, I don't mind. Let's see. You know what? My goal is to come here and do my job, and then I can worry about my own conveniences in a bit. So we can talk about the milk. But actually, how about you get God to deliver the milk? Okay? All right? I'll see you guys soon. Take care and go baking these cupcakes. They are lovely. The recipes and tips I will derive in the description box and also update in the community post.